feel like we will start with the same 11 because I feel Ronald Koeman has picked his 11. I feel like he's not dropping Memphis, for example, who played not his best match to say the least. But I'm having a strong feeling that he will pick the same 11 as the ones who stood on the pitch against France. I don't feel any changes, but we will see a more offensive team for sure. So a team that will look for the chances and create a lot of openings in the field. My prediction for the Austria game is a 2-1 win for the Netherlands. Goal scorers are Cody Gakpo and Memphis Depay. I feel the key players will be Cody Gakpo because I feel against Poland he was a key player in the offense and in the attack and he was the one that created the chances. So on the other hand, in the defense side, I feel like Nathan Ake is a really key player for the Netherlands because against Poland, he was the one that was able to make the passes from the defense to the attack. And his link with Cody Gakpo on the left side is looking very dangerous. So my guess, those two players will be a key player for the Netherlands versus Austria match.
So we should start with fast attacking team in the first 10-20 minutes so we can surprise Netherlands. It's hard to play against the defense. They're very, very tough and very good. But we can break them. So we have Marko Arnautovic. He can save the balls in front. And we have fast players like Christoph Baumgartner and Patrick Wimmer on the wings. So my prediction for the game against the Netherlands is a 3-2 for Austria. So really a thrilling game. So we get 1-0 for us. So Christoph Baumgartner, very special goal from outside out of the box. Then Virgil van Dijk, he will score the 1-1 about a corner. And then second half, Marko Arnautovic per penalty. So the goalkeeper got the yellow card. And then we got another yellow card. So red card for the goalkeeper. And then we scored the 3-1. And in the last 90 plus 1 or the 90 plus 2, Netherlands score Wout Weghorst. special jokers. Here we scored 3-2, but Austria will win. Austria will have many chances, many shoots from outside the box. So I think if we play the same style against Poland, we can definitely win against Netherlands and surprise them.
My score prediction for France against Poland is 2-1 France with 1 goal Mbappe, 1 N'Golo Kante from outside the box, and Poland goal scorer will be Lewandowski. I see a lot of set pieces during that game. So I'll probably go with a minimum of 6 free kicks during the game. And with a little bit of luck, maybe Griezmann can score 1 and it will be a 3-1. In the midfield, obviously, we need to sort out this Rabiot situation. I think it's been a bit clumsy since the beginning of the season, in my opinion. I know Camavinga is not on his best form, but I'd probably go for try replace him maybe with Camavinga, try to change the positioning a little bit, or even Warren Zaïre-Emery, our dear youngster from PSG, can also bring a lot of pace and stability in the midfield rather than Rabiot. I'm not personally a big fan of Rabiot. I know he can be helpful sometimes. He's doing the dirty work in the midfield as well, but we really have N'Golo Kante that is covering the entirety of the pitch anyway. We need someone with a little bit more pace, so I'd go probably with Camavinga or Warren Zaïre-Emery in the midfield and not play Adrien Rabiot on the next game. Considering the previous results against the Netherlands, which in my opinion, we should have lost it. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I think Xavi Simon's goal should have been allowed. The result of yesterday, the draw is not a too bad result for us. We're going through the group stage because obviously we're going to play Poland next. Poland has struggled against their opponent yesterday as well. And again, remember, we won 1 game without scoring a goal. and we drew that one. We haven't scored a proper goal from one of our players since the beginning of the tournament. So Poland will be the game, decisive game to launch the competition for us. We need to find a solution in regards to the finishing. I think Mbappe will be the one with the pace that will help us retrieve that counter-attacking football. And that's thanks to this counter-attacking football and the pace we have that we're killing the opponent all the time. So I think Kylian will bring that pace that we need, and the counter-attacking football against Poland will be crucial.
We are defeated. We are the first nation to be eliminated from the Euro, so that's very, very painful. From the second half, it just all went down and it started to look worse and worse. So yeah, it is very, very sad today in Poland. It's very difficult to predict the Poland versus France game because at one point I'm a Polish fan and I would love them to see them win. But on the other hand, let's be realistic, and I hope my Polish fans will not kill me for that, but my prediction is 0-1 for France. I think Mbappe will for sure score a goal, and that's my guess. But still hoping for the best for our players, hoping for youngsters to be on the pitch. In the recent games, there were many yellow cards, and I think in this game also there will be many yellow cards, especially I think for Polish guys, because they will be defending, I hope they will be defending our team. But yeah, overall, I just hope they will show some good skills and just try to stop France from beating us completely.
So my score prediction for England against Slovenia is 3-1 to England. England to put in a good performance and do what they need to do and carry a bit of momentum going into the knockouts. I think Harry Kane will score again. Jude Bellingham will score again. And actually my wacky bet for this one would be, I think Ollie Watkins will come on and score the last goal. He came on and, nearly scored in the last game. I think he'll come on again for Harry Kane late in the game, run those channels, push the Slovenia defence back, and I think he'll actually finish the game off and score the last goal. So that would be my prediction. The midweek wasn't ideal. I didn't think it was a good performance at all. I'm a big advocate of Southgate, but sometimes he makes it very difficult for me to defend his teams. And in the week against Denmark, that was definitely one of those times. Still well placed in the group. I still think England will top the group and go through and get a win against Slovenia, but there's more questions than answers at the moment. There's a huge problem for England at the moment with Phil Foden. Exceptional player, unbelievable player, one of the best players in the Premier League. But if he's to play in the position that Southgate's been playing him on the left-hand side, you have to have a natural left-back. And unless Luke Shaw miraculously becomes fit, England don't have that player. So Phil Foden cannot play there. I think as well, you might see Kobbie Mainoo come into the midfield alongside Declan Rice and try and give England that little bit more of control in games. So I think that's been the alarming thing, really. The lack of control in games, the bad passing, players not being able to complete basic passes. I think that's been one of my biggest worries. Again, I understand the calls for Cole Palmer, and anyone who isn't on the pitch, there's going to be elements of the England fan base that call for them to come on. That's just the way international football is. Everyone's got their player that they think they should be playing. It used to be Jack Grealish a few tournaments ago. At this point in time, it's Cole Palmer, but I naturally see where he comes in to that side. We're already shoehorning attacking players into positions that aren't getting the best out of them. I don't think you can take Saka out. Where do you put Cole Palmer? And I don't think he'll move Bellingham from number 10. I think if you look at the kind of hierarchy at the moment, the way in which he's been bringing the subs on, if he's going to make changes, I don't see that it's going to be Cole Palmer that comes straight into the team, because you would have thought he'd have come off the bench in one of the last two games. So I get the clamours for him. I understand it, but I cannot see any way in which he starts against Slovenia. But there's something fundamentally wrong with this England team across the two games, because they're capable of so much more. We've seen it in the past. We've seen these players in the Premier League and wherever they play every single week. But it's worrying that when they go 1-0 up, they do seem to retreat, and they do seem to kind of not know what to do when they go 1-0 up, and that's confusing.
So my score prediction for England-Slovenia is a 1-1 draw. When it comes to the group, a draw suits both sides. It will put Slovenia almost certainly through. It will definitely put England through. And sometimes you just sort of have to go with the logic of what result would suit each side best. So I'm predicting Benjamin Šeško to score first in Slovenia-England, We've seen him look very lively in both the games so far and not yet quite get the reward that his work has deserved. He is the main man for the nation. There's absolutely no doubt about that, and will be an absolute handful for England centre-backs to deal with. But we're going to see Zan Karničnik star again and provide an assist. Karničnik is one of the very few players in the squad who plays in Slovenia's domestic league, a player no one is familiar with, but we saw him at his best against Serbia, really bombing forward and providing a really great defensive outlet as well. I think we'll see more of that against England's left-hand side. Perhaps not the most entertaining game. England themselves, I think, let's be honest, they're not the greatest entertainers of the sides of the Euros. Slovenia are very structured, very organised, very difficult to break down. The exact sort of side England tend to struggle to do much of anything against. I think we will see Slovenia manage to get a result and manage to get through into the knockout stages.
I think that 96 win against the Netherlands was probably when I started to fall in love with international football, because England hadn't qualified for the 1994 World Cup, and that's the first international tournament that I remember. Euro 96 was really my first exposure to England being involved in a tournament, and the fact that it was played in this country as well, and England did well. It was just like a really great introduction to England in international tournaments, and it's taken a while for tournaments to live up to that expectation again, because we've had some really, really rough tournaments over the years. But that game against Holland, it was around the time of the great Ajax side that played in Dutch football. They had some incredible players in that Holland team, and you thought it was going to be a really, really difficult game. But England, off the back of their win against Scotland, just completely played them off the park. And still now, that's the game that I remember as an England fan. I remember being at home watching that game with my dad, watching Shearer and Sheringham up front, and just being so delighted and elated with what I was seeing. And that's probably the standout game from my time of being an England fan. The fact that performance was in a tournament, it was at Wembley. I fell in love with Euro 96 and England in that game, I think.
I think it'll be a tough game against Serbia. Serbia is a very, very good team. I think the starting 11 will be almost the same as the England game, but there'll be a change. I think that they will change. If I can go through, is Schmeichel at goal. In the back, we have Joachim Mæhle on one side. On the other side, we have Alexander Bæk, the Benfica player, and he's actually replacing Victor Christiansen, the guy who did the mistake leading to the English goal. So that's what I think they'll do, a small change. I think the first goal in the game, Serbia-Denmark, is going to be made by Rasmus Højlund. He will now break through and make the goal that the whole country is hoping for. And I think that Denmark will win the game. They'll win the game 2-1. And the reason I think that is because the tactics from Denmark during the game will be attacking. Denmark has played against Serbia a couple of times the last years, and we won the games. It's going to be a tight match. Denmark will win 2-1. That's my prediction.
So my predicted tactic for Serbia against Denmark is pretty much all out attack. That's all Serbia can do in this instance. We've seen them use 3-5-2 to pretty great effect this tournament. So my score prediction for Serbia-Denmark is 3-2 Denmark. I struggle to see Serbia as quite having the defensive rigidity to being able to keep Denmark out for much of the game. But if their attacking can be fluent, they will certainly score goals. They've threatened to all tournament. It should be end to end. So I'm predicting Alexander Mitrovic to score first in Serbia-Denmark. He's had the chances. He's not quite had the supply at all times, but after 2 matches at the Euros, it is inevitable a player with the scoring record of Alexander Mitrovic is going to put 1-0 away sooner or later. And the quicker it is, the better for Serbia. If certain things aren't going Serbia's way, someone will lose their head. It is almost as guaranteed as night following day with the Serbian national team that they don't always have the best mental strength, I think it's fair to say. My expectations for Serbia-Denmark are quite simply for it to be one of the most entertaining games of the tournament. Serbia have no choice but to go for this. If they don't, they're out. If they do and it fails, they're out. And it really is quite simply winner stays on. Even for Denmark, if they are able to sneak a draw, there's no guarantee that will necessarily take them into the next round. Both sides will be increasingly desperate as the game goes on, particularly depending on the permutations from the other game in the group on at the same time. We will see chaos.